People say that our country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, but is it really that simple? Let's be sensible. In Texas, kids are being taught that Moses inspired the American Constitution, but that's really just a way to trivialize our country's evolution. In the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill is commandment number 6, but in the civilized nation, thou shalt not kill is number 1 on the list. Read between the lines, pay attention to how it's worded, because in the Bible it seems like thou shalt not kill just means thou shalt not kill women who are virgins. Virgins make the best wives, so you have to keep the virgins for yourself, but nobody else should be left alive. And physical freedom is the most basic human right, and yet both the Old and the New Testament say that it's all right to own a slave. That alone shows that your God is morally depraved. But let's not stop there. What does the Bible say about rape? It says that because a woman didn't scream out for help, she should be stoned along with the rapist right at the city gate. So when people tell me that the Bible is the source of morality, it makes me a little nervous. They didn't even have anything like child protector service. You praise a man named Abraham because he is willing to kill his son, but if you saw your neighbor about to do the same, you'd run and call 911. Or at least I hope you would, because if you wouldn't, then you're a sorry excuse for a human being, and that may sound harsh, but I can say that because of something called freedom of speech, and your Bible doesn't have that either. Any opposing opinion is heresy. Now, this is the part where you say, well, that was the Old Testament and God's not like that anymore. But even if that were the case, which it's not, you should really come to your senses. If I told you that in the past I condoned slavery, murder, and genocide, wouldn't you be at least a little apprehensive? In the book of Revelations, your God promises to relapse. That's when the slaughtering commences. Bodies burn in foul stenches and a fire that won't subside no matter how much you try to quench it. But he loves me, right? Look, I get it. If you choose to let ancient mythology control your life, then so be it. But when you call this a Christian nation, I look around and I don't see it. Atheism, witchcraft, homosexuality, these were considered crimes that people were tried for. Many were found guilty and executed, so we don't have God-given rights. We have rights that men and women died for. But I'll humor you for a moment. Let's say that everything in our culture is derived from your holy text. Would that really prove that your religion is best? Democracy comes from the Greek word demos, which means the people, and it's an idea we put to great use, but because the Greeks inspired our democracy, does that mean I should worship Zeus? The Phoenicians gave us the alphabet, the same one that I used to write this poem, but I don't feel obligated to worship their god Baal or any other idols made of stone. The Romans inspired our architecture and so much more, but I don't feel obligated to worship Mars, the Roman god of war. And the Norse gave us the days of the week, but on Thursday, how many of us worship Thor? Well, we do think he's pretty cool in Hollywood movies, but I guess what I'm saying is, forget the rituals and the verses. You can appreciate a person's contribution without subscribing to the God that they worship. And in light of this reality, I acknowledge that George Washington and other great men of this country were Christian, but I'm no more obligated to worship their God than you are to worship the ones that I previously mentioned. And did you know that George Washington had 2 nicknames, Cincinnatus and Fabius, the names of 2 non-Christians who led Rome to victory in its darkest hours? And like George, both were far from perfect, but didn't hesitate to step down instead of holding on to power. And this is something I believe is worth your contemplation, because you may see a God in everything, but I just see a human nation.